Well, hello and welcome to this edition of Big Questions in 5 Minutes, in which I will attempt to take a big question that people are asking and in 5 minutes address the Christian response to that question and then hopefully demonstrate how that response is best. And in previous videos we've been discussing the so-called problem of evil. This COVID-19 pandemic that we are all experiencing has led many to ask the question, that if there is this God that exists, then why do we have the existence of evils like this COVID-19 virus? And so what we've done is we've begun to address some general observations that we wanted to make before getting into the details of the issue. And so we've talked about things like the fact that Christianity offers a unique response to the problem of evil in that the Christian can be certain that when he or she dies, he or she will continue to exist in a place where there is no evil. We also talked about the fact that no matter what worldview or religion you adhere to, you must respond to the problem of evil, and how the Christian response is better than others. And then we've also talked about the fact that just the fact that we raise the problem of evil and that we think that the problem of evil is a problem reveals the fact that we think this world is broken, that there's something wrong with it that needs to be made right. And that fits well within a Christian context. And so now we want to get into the details of the problem of evil. And we're going to begin by kind of addressing the intellectual side of the problem of evil. You have kind of two different sides of this problem that both need to be addressed if the problem is going to be adequately dealt with. We'll begin by addressing the intellectual side, and then we'll move to the emotional side later. And so the intellectual side of the problem of evil leads many to just make the claim that the existence of God and the existence of evil entails a contradiction. And the way it's normally formulated is something like this. If God exists, then He is all-powerful, all-loving, and all-knowing. That means that He can do something about the evil that He sees because He's all-powerful, that He wants to do something about evil because He's all-loving, and that He knows about the evil because He's all-knowing. And so if God can do something about it, wants to do something about it, and knows about all of the evil, then why doesn't He do something about it? Why does evil still exist? And I want to begin by revealing a faulty assumption, I think, that is behind that question. And that is the assumption that there could be no possible good reason for God to allow the evil that we see in the world today. Right? When you make the claim that there's a contradiction between the two, what you are saying is there's no possible good reason God could have for allowing evil to exist. And I want to try to demonstrate how that assumption is faulty by using an example that I think we can all understand. Let's say you're on your way to work one morning and you get to your vehicle and you realize you left your car keys inside. And so you run back in the house, get your car keys, and then you go to work. And then let's say on your way to work, you miss being in a wreck by about the same amount of time it took you to get your car keys, to go back inside and get your car keys. Or maybe you're on the other side of the issue, right? Maybe you are in a wreck, and if you had just been a little bit earlier by about the amount of time that it took you to get your car keys, then you wouldn't have been in the wreck, right? What does that demonstrate? It demonstrates the fact that even seemingly insignificant events in our day, like forgetting your car keys, can have major impacts to it. And that is not only true for events, it's not only the fact that events have effects that same day, events can have effects a long way into the future even, right? Assume that you were someone who got in a wreck because you forgot your car keys that morning. Well, what that would mean is that it could affect the whole rest of your life, the whole course your life takes, and the course that others that are close with you, the course that their life takes. Events can have effects far into the future. A very prominent philosopher named William Lane Craig, he's a philosopher and apologist. He says that events the effects of events may not be seen until very distant in the future, maybe even years or centuries into the future. And so if you think about all of the events that happen in the world, and you think about them all as variables in one big equation, if you were looking at it from God's perspective, as it were, there's just no way we could evaluate all the variables. There's no way we as finite human beings could even possibly begin to assess the effects of any one particular event in the here and now. which means that there's no possible way we could with any certainty make the claim that God could have no reason for allowing the evils that exist today. Now, I do recognize that doesn't answer the problem of evil fully. I recognize that this is not a one and done answer, but I do think it does reveal the faulty assumption behind the claim that there's a contradiction at face value between the existence of God and the existence of evil. And I think that is worth considering.